Hello and welcome to London Explained. In this episode we look at Maida Vale, an upscale neighbourhood situated just outside of central London, 3 miles northwest of Charing Cross. With its tree-lined streets, very well kept mansion blocks and the canal nearby, Maida Vale is considered a very desirable place to live within the city. Briefly revisiting the history of the area, in the Middle Ages the land was originally owned by St Margaret's Church in Westminster. However, after the dissolution of monasteries, the Bishop of London acquired the land. In 1742, Sir John Frederick signed a lease for future development of the area. There were no structures on the land until the end of the 1700s, but in 1816, an Act of Parliament was passed to allow trustees of Sir John Frederick's estate and the Bishop of London to begin development. Construction started in the 1820s with development up the Edgware Road, a historic Roman development from 43 AD. The name Maida Vale originates from 1806, after Sir General John Stuart triumphed at the Battle of Maida in Italy. Following this, a public house, now known as a pub, was formed in 1810 called the Hero of Maida. But it wasn't until the late 1880s that the name Maida Vale was applied to the district. Red Victorian mansion blocks are a very popular form of architecture in the area, and they first began to spring up in 1897. For the aristocrats of the day, white stucco facade buildings were built in the southern area of the district, very close to the canal. These structures have got many similarities with Regency architecture, and some of the best examples are along Warrington Crescent. Regency architecture is practically of Georgian design, but at its latter stages. Checkerboard porches and basements accessible from the outside of the property were very common design features of the buildings in this area. Warwick Avenue is located in the southern area of Maida Vale and links up with Little Venice. Overall, the district has 2 London Underground stations, one being called Maida Vale and the other being Warwick Avenue. Both underground stations opened in 1915 and Maida Vale was the first station to be staffed entirely by women. They are both on the Bakerloo line, which heads northbound towards Harrow and Wealdstone, as well as southbound towards central and south London. Maida Vale has a very unique mosaic situated in the entrance section, which is very popular with tourists. When heading up Warwick Avenue, the road crosses over the canal, which is the entrance to the water basin. Little Venice is a lovely open water space in a triangular form, which joins up the Regent's Canal, the Grand Union Canal, as well as the Paddington Basin. It is a very tranquil space, so much so that many have decided to set up on the canal side with houseboats. In 1900, Maida Vale and Little Venice became part of the borough of Paddington, but since the creation of Greater London in 1965, the district is now part of the City of Westminster. Regular riverboat services head eastbound up the Regent's Canal, stopping off at London Zoo and heading towards Camden Town. Little Venice is a popular destination amongst tourists as well as Londoners, and I would highly recommend you take a visit there, at least once. And that concludes this episode on Maida Vale, including Little Venice. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you again in a later video. Take care.